She was 13 years old. It was a hot Thursday afternoon in Louisville, Kentucky. She came to the park with her friends just to have fun, to laugh, to scream, to feel that electric rush that only a 177-foot drop can give you. She had already ridden it once that day. She loved it. So she got back in line. She swapped seats with a friend, a random, meaningless decision that nobody thought twice about. And in the next few seconds, her entire life was changed forever. This is the true story of Caitlin Lassiter, the Superman Tower of Power, and the day an amusement park ride became one of the most horrifying accidents in American history. June 21st, 2007. Louisville, Kentucky. It was the kind of summer day that makes you forget every worry you ever had. Temperatures in the low 90s. Clear blue skies. The smell of funnel cake in the air. Families everywhere. Children laughing. And teenagers just being teenagers. Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom was one of Louisville's most beloved destinations. Every summer, hundreds of thousands of people poured through its gates. Parents with strollers, couples holding hands, groups of friends chasing the next adrenaline rush. And at the center of it all, towering above everything else, stood the Superman Tower of Power. 177 feet tall. That's roughly the height of a 17-story building. Riders would strap in, feel the slow mechanical hum as they were lifted. 50 feet, 100 feet, 150 feet, and then nothing. Free fall. 154 feet of pure, screaming, heart-stopping free fall, reaching 54 miles per hour before magnetic brakes eased them to a stop just 20 feet above the ground. It had been running since 1995. Thousands of rides, thousands of smiling faces. That day, Caitlin Lassiter was just another 13-year-old girl enjoying her summer. She rode the Superman Tower of Power for the first time that afternoon, and she loved every second of it. So she and her friend decided to go again. The line was short. It felt like destiny. What Caitlin didn't know, what nobody knew, was that destiny had something else planned entirely. Around 4:45 p.m., Caitlin and her friend strapped in for their second ride. They swapped seats this time, not for any particular reason. Maybe one of them wanted a different view. Maybe it was just a casual, thoughtless moment of teenage spontaneity. That seat swap would later be remembered as the small decision that stood between life and unthinkable tragedy. The ride began its slow climb. The mechanical hum, the ground pulling away beneath them, the park shrinking below. 50 feet, 100 feet, 150 feet. From up here, the people below looked like tiny dots. The noise of the crowd faded. There was just the wind and the height, and that familiar stomach-dropping sensation of being suspended at the edge of the sky. And then something snapped. Witnesses on the ground described hearing a sharp, metallic crack, like a gunshot. One witness, Chris Williams, was standing near the base of the ride. He saw it happen in real time. It went up, he said, and then the cable snapped. A steel cable, one of the critical components holding the ride's mechanical system together, had broken free under pressure. The cable whipped outward from the tower. It was fast, it was violent, and it was completely uncontrolled. As the ride began its descent, that famous freefall the crowd always cheered for, the broken cable was still there, still moving, still swinging. And as the ride came crashing down, the cable swung to the left, and it struck the passengers. Another witness, Travis Smith, watched in horror from the ground. It snapped again as the ride descended, she said. And then she saw what the cable had done. The cable had wrapped around Caitlin's lower body with devastating force. Both of her feet were severed above the ankles. The ride stopped at its normal resting point. For a moment, silence, and then screaming. The emergency response was immediate. Paramedics rushed to the scene. The park was thrown into chaos. Parents pulled their children away. People stood frozen, staring, unable to process what they had just witnessed. Caitlin was rushed to University Hospital in Louisville in critical condition. The images from that scene, which we will not describe in full, shocked every person who saw them. Back at the ride, investigators could clearly see the broken cable still protruding from the tower. There was no mystery about what had gone wrong mechanically. But why? How does a cable on one of America's most popular theme park rides simply snap? Six Flags issued a statement. "We have been in contact with both the hospital and the girl's family and will continue to closely monitor the situation and provide whatever assistance we can." The ride was shut down immediately, not just at Kentucky Kingdom, but at every Six Flags park in the country with a similar model. Drop towers in St. Louis, Gurnee, Illinois, and near Washington, D.C. were all closed for emergency inspection. Cedar Fair Entertainment followed suit, shutting down similar drop tower rides at 5 of their parks. An entire industry was holding its breath, and one family, Randy and Monique Lassiter, was sitting in a hospital waiting room, praying for their daughter's life. Doctors worked for hours. The damage was catastrophic, but surgeons were able to reattach Caitlin's right foot. Her left foot, however, was too severely damaged. It had to be amputated below the knee. In the weeks that followed, Caitlin faced more surgeries, infections, pain that never fully went away, prescription medications that left her nauseated and weak, depression. Her medical bills ran into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And through all of it, this 13-year-old girl, who just wanted to have fun with her friends on a summer afternoon, had to rebuild herself from nothing. But she did. Months later, Caitlin Lassiter took her first steps again, with a prosthetic leg and crutches. Her attorney, Larry Franklin, described her determination with quiet awe. "She's so proud of herself," he said. "She has gotten around on crutches." But the scars went deeper than the physical. When Caitlin spoke publicly about what had happened to her, her words were heartbreaking in their simplicity. "I won't be the person I was before," she said, "because now I'm scared of stuff. I fear for my life when I get in a car, fear for my life when I get on an elevator. In my mind, I'm not as carefree as a 14-year-old child should be. I got that taken away from me." She paused. "I want to be a 14-year-old girl." For words. And somehow, they said everything. In the aftermath of the accident, investigators from the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, the state agency responsible for inspecting amusement park rides, launched a full investigation. And what they found was deeply troubling. The cable failure itself was mechanical. But the deeper question wasn't just how the cable broke. It was why the system had allowed it to get to that point. Park operators heard an unusual sound during the ride. There was a critical window. Investigators estimated approximately 10 seconds between when the cable snapped and when the final drop began. 10 seconds. In those 10 seconds, an emergency stop could have been activated. It wasn't, at least not in time to prevent the injury. And this pointed to a much larger problem in the American amusement park industry. Here is a fact that will shock you. In 2007, permanent rides at major amusement parks in the United States were not regulated by the federal government. The Consumer Product Safety Commission, the federal body that oversees product safety, had no jurisdiction over fixed-site theme park rides. Each state was responsible for its own inspections. Some states had strong systems. Others had almost none. Kentucky Kingdom maintained its own inspection records. But critics argued that self-regulation was never enough for an industry where the margin for error was measured in human lives. The Lassiter family filed suit against Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom in July 2007, alleging that the park had failed to properly maintain the ride and ensure rider safety. Six Flags initially denied liability, but in November 2008, they reached a confidential settlement. With one extraordinary condition: Six Flags was required to provide a lifetime of care for Caitlin. The ride itself? It was demolished in 2008. The tower that had stood at Kentucky Kingdom for 13 years, gone. Reduced to scrap metal. And yet, was justice truly done? Or was the removal of a single ride just a quiet way to bury the evidence of a much bigger problem? In May 2008, Caitlin and her family traveled to Washington, D.C. They stood before lawmakers on Capitol Hill and supported a bill introduced by Congressman Edward Markey of Massachusetts, a bill that would have given the Federal Consumer Product Safety Commission the power to regulate permanent rides at theme parks across America. They shared their story. They showed their scars, both visible and invisible, and the industry fought back. Theme park lobbyists argued that federal regulation was unnecessary, that the industry policed itself effectively, that cases like Caitlin's were rare and tragic exceptions, not systemic failures. the bill failed. And in the years since, the accidents have continued. In 2016, a 10-year-old boy died on a record-breaking water slide in Kansas City. In 2022, a 14-year-old boy was killed at Icon Park in Orlando when he fell from a 400-foot drop tower. In September 2025, just months ago, a man died at Universal's brand-new Epic Universe theme park in Orlando. Every time, the same questions are asked. Every time, the same answers are given. And every time, somewhere, a family's life is changed forever. Caitlin Lassiter grew up. She learned to walk again. She learned to live again. She found a strength in herself that most people never have to discover, because most people never face what she faced. But she never got back what was taken from her on that Thursday afternoon in Louisville. The carefree feeling of being a teenager. The simple joy of a summer day. The safety of trusting that the world, or at least a theme park ride, would keep her from harm. Here is the question I want to leave you with. Right now, today, millions of people ride theme park attractions every single year. Hundreds of thousands of rides operate across this country with no federal oversight. Inspections vary by state. Maintenance records vary by park. And every single time you strap into a seat 177 feet above the ground, you are trusting, with your life, that every cable, every bolt, every safety system was checked correctly. The question is not whether accidents can happen. We know they can. The real question is, are we doing everything possible to make sure they don't? Caitlin Lassiter asked that question. The industry gave her an answer she never wanted. And somewhere, right now, there is another 13-year-old girl waiting in line for a ride. Smiling, excited, completely unaware.